How impressive was Dylan Riley last week?
Oh, Dylan did a good job, man. It was just good for him to get out there and show what he can do. I mean, we've seen that in practice for a couple weeks, but you never know what's going to happen when the lights turn on. But it was awesome to get out there and see him do what he does in practice.
Is he a guy you expect, whether it be injury or just production or whatever, like he's the guy that you're going to be rolling with here moving forward? Or?
Well, I mean, that's the goal with all the guys, just to make sure that whatever happens within the room, that they're all ready to play. And so if he has to play a lot, he has to play a lot. But it'll be kind of how the game goes.
Why was Dylan ready for the moment? And what does he do to make himself prepared for that?
I mean, he just practices that way, and we got a really good culture in the room, and it starts with Ash. He does a good job with the young guys and staying after practice with them, working on things, and they do a good job in the meeting room, just asking questions.
How much do you think having Ashton only play a half is going to help the team going forward? Because the other guys have played after him.
Well, that was kind of the push last year because, we got thin last year and Ash was playing, 55 to 60 snaps a few weeks in a row, and that takes a toll on the body. So we just want to make sure that, we do our best to make sure that he's fresh and in positions late in the game to where if he needs to close it out, he can.
Just between Ash and Sire and Reed, everyone in that running back room, it feels like you guys have an endless supply of running backs. Just what do you guys look for? How you keep tagging these guys out?
I mean, you look for speed, you look for production, you look, can they catch the ball in the backfield? You look, can they protect the passer? And so, you're always looking for dynamic traits and +1 traits, and they all have that, So that's what you look for, whether it's contact balance, speed, ability to make people miss, and then they all got to be tough and smart.
How ready is Breezy Dubar to contribute?
Oh man, he's watched 3 games now, and he was on track to really be a big piece of this offense behind Ash, and when guys go down, it lets the next guy be able to step up. But he's itching to get out there.
I know this might seem kind of simple, but how good of a teammate is Breezy? It's really funny. Anytime he posts anything about the running backs, Breezy's like the first dude to like it. That's how good of a teammate support is he?
I mean, we're all brothers in there, and so we're just rooting for the guy that's out there, and it's kind of the power of the unit. And we all know that in that room we have good players, but it's just it's competitive, but there's no backbiting in the room. So it's all good competition in there.
What stands out about Washington State's defense?
They're sound. They play hard. They play fast, and they're just a really good defense. And they do a lot of different things in situational football that you have to prepare for, a lot of different front variations. So, we'll have our work cut out for us this Saturday.
That defensive line for Washington State, is it a case again of just 4 or 5 yards rushes is a victory, and you just go and try and?
Well, that's always the goal. We're always trying to play 4 or 5 yard runs and give those body blows. We've just been, we've been accustomed this year to Ash doing Ash things, and we've had a lot of big runs this season, but 4 to 5 yards is always the goal, especially on 1st and 10.
I know we've talked to you about Tyler Crow, in the past, but just him embracing this last season in this role and trying to make the most of his opportunity and getting a chance to score a touchdown the other night on the Blue. He said it was his first touchdown on the Blue. Just what continues to impress you about Tyler Crow?
Well, he's Mr. Reliable, and whatever situation you put him in, he's always ready for it, whether it's special teams are on offense, and he just does a good job of just week in, week out being the same exact player. He doesn't change. He doesn't falter at all. Whatever we need him to do, he's always prepared and he's ready to go.
What's it like to see him get rewarded? Career high 11 carries, 57 yards, and
it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Every year you kind of have your leaders of the room, and T. Crow, even with George and Ash, last season, he's always been that leader. He's sat in the same seat since I've been here, and he's just been a constant, consistent force. But he just does a really good job. He has a great personality. He knows what he's doing at all times. And when young guys run off the field and they need help, he's always right there to help them. So he's definitely like a big brother in the room.
Spence said, you guys are in constant communication, during the game. When you decided to sit Ash second half, what do you say about Dylan in terms of his readiness and being able to go?
Well, he looked up at the Melaleuca sign when he ran on the field the first time, and I think his heart jumped out of his skin a little bit. But, it's always just calming those guys down, and it's awesome that we have the tablets because you can get stuff corrected so fast. Like, hey, you need to pick up the tempo here, you need to be looking at this. And so once he got that first play out, it was like he was just playing football again.
What do you think of that 60-plus yard touchdown run?
Hey, I love how house calls. So, you know what I mean? 60-yard runs, 70-yard runs, those are always exciting. But, you know, that was such a well-blocked play. He had another 9-yard run where he got vertical, made a guy miss, and then carried a guy for, you know, an extra couple 2 or 3 yards. Those are the runs I'm looking for because, you know, a lot of guys, I mean, if you give me one snap with a hole like that, I might give you, you know, 8 yards, but, you know, I'm not going to take it 60, but anybody could have ran through that hole. But it's the little details within the run game where their eyes are at and how they're able to set their runs up and make people miss, and the efficiency of how they run their tracks over and over and over.
What was his reaction when he got to the sideline after that, though?
Well, he scored on a power play on the 2-yard line earlier, and you could tell he was like, oh my God, I'm in the orange. And then so he had his TikTok dance ready to go after he busted the 60-yarder. So they all have their little TikTok dances ready to roll. So
Oddly, like 98% of Ashton Genty's yards are rushing, not receiving. Whereas last year he was like this massive dual threat. Just
Yeah.
what's your assessment of the backs in the receiving game? And it's kind of odd that nothing's popped yet. Huh?
it's just been kind of flow of the game, you know. I mean, it's pretty much the same plans, and you know, like it's just really a progression of the play, what the defense takes away, and so. I mean, we have our screen game and things like that, but you know, it's really just flow of the game. And as the quarterback gets to the progression, does it get to the back? Because usually, we're 3 or 4 in the progression as you go through it. So nothing there. It's just how the game has went these first couple games.